His training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock.
Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on Crawford's intense preparation for the upcoming clash with Canelo. He pointed out Crawford's exceptional ability to switch stances and adapt mid-fight, skills that could help neutralize Canelo's strength and experience despite the size gap. At the same time, Rogan raised concerns about whether Crawford can handle Canelo's heavy punches, warning that the danger of being physically overpowered is very real.
Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's going to fight Canelo. Oh, man. I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit.
They tried to say that like Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
Joe Rogan made it clear where his support lies in the highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez, his backing Terence Crawford. During a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience with Jim Lampley, Rogan was asked who he favored, and without hesitation, he named Crawford. He went on to explain that he sees Crawford as the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler and feels that Canelo has started to show signs of slowing down. Rogan praised Crawford's slick movement, adaptability, and tactical brilliance, though he acknowledged that Canelo's size and punching power remain serious challenges.
Which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Because how does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrogging. He goes to super middleweight.
47 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrigal fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young. He uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill, just train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152, because he knew he would be drained.
Was it 52 or 54?
Rogan also cautioned that Crawford shouldn't face Canelo carelessly, stressing the risks posed by Canelo's size and punching power. Still, he admitted he'd be watching without question, calling it potentially the biggest event in boxing today. On his podcast, Rogan even mixed in a discussion about cartel smuggling while analyzing the fight, blending technical fight talk with unexpected cultural observations.
You look at the elite of the elite boxers, to a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined. Yeah. And they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he can.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford looked back on his 2023 victory over Errol Spence Jr., emphasizing how relentless preparation set him apart. He explained that everything fans saw on fight night was the product of countless hours of drilling and repetition in camp, which allowed him to execute flawlessly under the lights. Crawford also touched on the looming size difference with Canelo, acknowledging that while Canelo may be the bigger man, size doesn't automatically translate to strength.
Actually practicing it, that was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like, I'm going practice with this left. And that's when I got the left stronger, because at first, when I go southpaw, it was only, my right. And then when my hand got messed up, just started working on the left, and it started getting stronger and stronger. And I started getting more accurate, because at first, just throw it just to be throwing it. And then, it just got to a point where my left was actually way stronger than my right.
Teddy Atlas views the Canelo versus Crawford matchup as the ultimate clash of size against speed. He points out that while Canelo carries tremendous power and the benefit of fighting in his comfort zone, Crawford may offset that with sharper reflexes, intelligence in the ring, and adaptability. Drawing parallels to when Pacquiao stunned De La Hoya, Atlas highlights Crawford's exceptional instincts, precise timing, and slippery style. Although Canelo has shown dominance in heavier divisions, Atlas insists Crawford's rare skill set, versatility, and intangibles give him a real chance to flip the script.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
In preparation for his super middleweight showdown with Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford has revealed a striking physical transformation. After previously competing at 154 pounds, he's packed on considerable size, reportedly walking around at 185 pounds, with some earlier clips showing him close to cruiserweight territory. Despite the added bulk, Crawford still looks lean and conditioned, a testament to his disciplined training regimen. Still, not everyone is convinced this change will pay off. Strength and conditioning coach Rob Oster cautioned that jumping from 154 directly into the 168 range might take a toll, potentially limiting Crawford's trademark speed and endurance against Canelo's proven power.
On size, Crawford coming in the ring, and Crawford doing everything he can to match Canelo's power, possibly size, and to, at a minimum, try to just maintain what speed he already possesses. Because, when you go up in weight, sometimes you compromise speed. So we know Crawford and his team are doing everything they can to, at a minimum, maintain his speed. But the question came up, okay, since Crawford is looking to come in the ring fast, powerful, we know he's already brilliant. Shit, what if Canelo comes in lighter? I'm like, lighter? Yeah, what happens if Canelo says, you know what, I'm not going to try to come and just outweigh him by 20 pounds on fight night, because I realize I'm in there with somebody who's very agile and who's probably going to be faster than me. And although I have timing, he has timing too. So I can't afford to be 2 or 3 steps behind Terence Crawford in my speed.
Boxing coach Greg Hackett has shared his take on Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, suggesting that a knockout victory for Crawford is unlikely under today's 12-round system. He explained that Canelo is far too seasoned and resilient to be stopped easily. According to Hackett, Crawford doesn't possess the kind of extraordinary one-punch power, or the style of standing in the pocket trading bombs, that would be needed to put Canelo away. Instead, he envisions Crawford relying on pure skill, showcasing technical mastery over brute force. Hackett even added that in the old 15-round days, Crawford's stamina and methodical pace might have been enough to break Canelo down, but not in the modern format. Meanwhile, the verbal sparring between the two fighters has already begun. Canelo threw a jab outside the ring, saying Crawford would soon find out the difference between being a good fighter and facing a great one. Crawford's response was sharp and pointed, "So that means you're a good fighter and Dmitry Bivol is a great fighter, right? Every time you stepped up, you lost." A bold comeback that reminded everyone of Canelo's defeat to Bivol and added more heat to their looming clash.
Feel like he will do going against somebody like a Canelo at 168? I think Bud, man, one thing I love about Bud, he willing to challenge himself. And when you're willing to challenge yourself, you can surprise yourself. But that's a hell of a feeling. I think, to be honest, you don't want to sit there and brawl with Canelo, but at some point you're gonna have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? You can't let Canelo press you. You know what I'm saying? Because he great at that, and he a bully. He is a bully. But Bud, I believe, got bully tendencies too. You know what I'm saying? And he could be crafty. But I think if he approach it the way he approached Spence, then we get a way better fight than people think. Now, what I saw when he approached Spence was, I can't make a mistake. I can't let him do too much. I can't let him be a bully. I think if he go at Canelo the same way, then we get a great fight on our hands. Not that I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's gonna be that dominant, but I'm just saying I think we get a great fight on our hands.
Andre Ward, the former two-division world champion, has openly voiced his confidence in Terence Crawford ahead of the highly anticipated clash with Canelo Alvarez. Ward stated that right now, he wouldn't pick against Crawford under any circumstances, describing him as the kind of fighter you can bet the house on. While Ward acknowledged the challenge of moving up in weight and the risks that come with facing a powerhouse like Canelo, he emphasized that no one has yet shown the ability to break Crawford's spirit. Until someone proves otherwise, Ward believes Crawford remains a fighter who simply finds a way to win.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Dmitry Bivol, the reigning WBA light heavyweight champion recognized for his sharp technical style, has spoken highly of Terence Crawford. In past interviews, Bivol described Crawford as more than just talented, calling him amazing and even the type of fighter young boxers should study if they want to learn the craft the right way. Leading up to Crawford's showdown with Canelo Alvarez, Bivol once again praised him as one of his personal favorites. Highlighting both Crawford's physical preparedness and refined skill set, Bivol expressed confidence that Crawford has what it takes to overcome Canelo.
I'll ask you a couple of questions. Crawford, Spence. I know you watched the fight and you spoke about Crawford. How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing, and
he said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terence. But I think he should be in the book for
is that good?
How to learn boxing. You know,
really.
He's a very good fighter. Yeah, I like to watch his fights.
Pound for pound, number one.
Yeah, probably he is now because he is undisputed champion in 2 weight classes.
It's crazy.
He's a great fighter, yeah. To be honest, I didn't see, Crawford in real life. I don't know how big he is. But the size, when I came to boxing gym and my coach told me that one of the rules, it's like respect the weight classes, You should respect weight classes. But he has a very good skill. He's one of my favorite fighters, active fighters now.
Boxing legend Bernard Hopkins shared a sharp take on Terence Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. According to Hopkins, the damage Crawford delivered in that fight wasn't limited to a single night. It may have lasting effects on Spence's career. He explained that the punishment Spence endured could be equivalent to taking years or several fights off his prime, both physically and mentally. In Hopkins' view, Crawford didn't just beat Spence, he left a mark that could alter the way Spence performs moving forward. This highlights Crawford's ability to not only win convincingly but to impose a lasting impact on his opponents well beyond the final bell.
Crawford. Believe Crawford, even though, fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford, was...
But look who he beat.
Undisputed.
Look who he beat. Look who he beat. What he did to Spence and how he did it. That's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? Yeah, I'm a fighter, so I can tell you when you get punished like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the fight.
It takes a few years out of you. Don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person going forward. They still can beat some fights, but it really put a bruise on them. You didn't see Spence fight yet, did you?
No.
Did you hear him name opponent for him to potentially fight? It's been quiet. You see the weight he gave?
Former world champion Tim Bradley has voiced strong support for Terence Crawford, but with caution. Bradley estimates Crawford has about a 30 to 40% chance of overcoming Canelo Alvarez. He praised Crawford's intelligence in the ring and his refined skill set, but admitted the size and power gap is a real concern. Bradley questioned whether a naturally smaller fighter like Crawford could absorb Canelo's punishing shots. He also pointed out that Crawford's fighting pride might backfire. If he chooses to stand and trade instead of boxing smart, he risks walking into Canelo's power.
One more thing. It don't matter if Canelo is on that. He ain't beat no Terence Crawford. You heard it here first. Plus, I look at the performances of Canelo. I look at his last performances. I mean, they've been all right. You know, it ain't been like, wow, blew me away. So I'm not really worried about all of that. And the same thing goes with Crawford. I know he's with Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean. I think it's a conflict of interest, the fact that, hey, he knows how to beat the system, quote unquote, Victor Conte, but at the same time, I think Snack, you got products going around the world, this and that. I mean, all these athletes are testing. They're not testing anything or positive by using Snack at all. So I think they're safe. There's no doubt about it. So with that being said, I'm not worried about that. As long as they're testing, I'm good.
Trainer Robert Garcia recently shared an honest assessment of Canelo Alvarez's current fighting style, particularly in the wake of Edgar Berlanga's loss. Garcia observed that Canelo no longer presses aggressively for knockouts the way he once did. Instead, he focuses on doing enough to secure clear victories. While Alvarez still has the ability to stop opponents, Garcia explained that Canelo often eases off once the win is in hand. This calculated approach, according to him, is about longevity, protecting his body and extending his career rather than taking unnecessary risks.
Why is it that Shiraz was able to knock out Berlanga but not Canelo?
It's because Canelo doesn't go out for the knockout anymore. Canelo's just now, we've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win. He did the same again, Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. He's up there, and not in age because he's only like 33 or 34. But he's
fighting since 15.
He was 15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself and not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win. I think Shiraz also has great power, man. I think Shiraz has the power that nobody believed he had.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. has been clear about where he stands on the Canelo vs. Terence Crawford matchup. In his view, Canelo comes out the definite winner. Ortiz explained that while Crawford has bulked up to around 180 pounds, adding weight doesn't automatically make someone a true super middleweight. He stressed there's a big difference between carrying extra pounds and actually belonging in that division.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. The jump would be hard even if it was just like some top 10,
right? Yeah.
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated, right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
It favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. And Canelo's not slow either. This shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew. But if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration.
Ortiz pointed out the clear size gap between the two, stressing that taking a clean shot from Canelo is a dangerous proposition and a likely path to victory for the Mexican superstar. At the same time, he didn't dismiss Crawford's talent, recognizing his sharp mind and punching ability. Ortiz even admitted that if Crawford were to pull off the upset, he'd place him among the greatest of all time.
He has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
Favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew. But if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
Do you believe Terence Crawford's preparation could be the deciding factor against Canelo Alvarez? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below.